Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Watch Me Mix. We're going to be mixing Old Empty Nest by Domestic Research Partners. This is the first episode in this series, and we will be mixing this from start to finish. So this is totally unmixed. It's kind of like a country, sort of jazzy ballad type thing, mainly country style, female vocal, drums, strings, horns, all that kind of stuff is in here. So over the next couple hours here, I'll be going through and sharing my thoughts on how I'm mixing this. So if you're new to this series, what I like to do is do what I like to call a first pass mix or just an initial mix. And what this is all about is just getting everything set up for the artist that provided it so they can hear everything and it sounds balanced and it sounds more or less ready. Definitely not a final mix, but it's a method of mixing I've gotten pretty good at over the years, and I just basically get through most songs within usually 2 hours for an initial run through. And then from there, I go further and take notes from the artist and that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at what we've got here and we'll jump right in. We got drums right here. This whole section here is drums. And what I'll do is I'll color them and so we can see things better. So we're going to assign track color here and we'll color the drums this color, maybe a little darker. There we go. This is also percussion, so I might as well color that the same thing. Bass, we'll do a little different. Piano, steel guitar, electric guitar, I'm going to color those the same for now. Violin, viola, these are all strings, so I'm going to color those the same for now. Horns, we'll leave these this color. And then the vocals, I think what we'll do is we'll color them all this color, and we're going to put the lead vocal a slightly different color like that. So that's where we are now color-wise, and you can see the breakdown of the different instrumentation a little bit better. So you can start with anything you like. You can start with vocals, you can start with strings, you can start with anything. Typically what you want to do is listen through the song a couple times and get an idea. I've already done that. What I'm going to do is actually start with the piano. The piano is the primary instrument. You can see it's happening throughout the whole song. And so that's another strategy, is to sort of start with what the primary instrument is. A lot of times, one of the only instruments that's happening throughout the entire song is the drums. So people tend to start with that. But in this case, there are no drums in the first half of the song, really. So yeah, we're going to start with the piano. Just make sure that's balanced and sound good. And we'll get into probably these guitars and we'll see how far we get. So let's take a listen to this piano. It's beautifully recorded. I don't think I'm going to do much to it right now. I think I'm seeing how dynamic it is over here. Like how much louder it gets over here, how much quieter it is over here. So I think I'm just going to put a light compression on it real quick and move on. I'm not even going to EQ it. It sounds beautiful. We're going to use the Studio FET. Yeah, so it's just taking a couple dB off some of those harder chord hits. The thing is, you know, we want it to be louder in the second half. That's the whole point. It's a dynamic song. So what I don't want to do is this. So just a little bit of compression, a few dB. What should happen is over here, we don't get much happening. Yep. Nothing really happening. Really not even taking half a dB off, really. Gonna add 4 of gain. And the other thing I want to point out is I've set all the faders to -10 just to give me a ton of headroom to work with. So I really like doing that. I'm gonna go over to this loud part here and we're gonna turn the piano up on the fader. Good. Next thing I'm going to do is bass here because listening to that makes me want more bass. So let's see what's happening with the bass. Might as well look at the same part. Some low fundamentals there. Growly. Kind of like the top end. I don't want to take too much of that off. And we're just going to boost about 80. And we're going to feed that into a compressor. And there should be a decent preset here. We're going to go direct bass, see how that feels. Too much compression. Okay, so let's mix that in with the piano. I'm just going to pull it all the way back, put the piano in, mix in the bass. Okay, that's decent for me now. Let's take a look at these guitars here. The steel guitar is pretty prevalent. This is going to be pretty easy. I think I'm probably just going to do some balance on the steel guitar. I typically don't do a lot of messing with. It's so subtle and important. I usually just kind of do levels. So let's take a listen. Let's go over here. Probably reverb too on this once we get to that stage. I just want to make sure it's balanced with the piano. Think of it almost like a synth. Okay, let's listen to this. So just gonna make sure there's not any low stuff in this guitar. This is high tremolo guitar. We got plenty of bass in here. We want this guitar to stick out. Remember, the bass guitar is covering a lot of these frequencies here. So this tremolo guitar, you know, it's really should be here, and we don't want any of this stuff in here. See how much 200 there is? You know, we want to be careful with that. We really want this stuff here. And I'm not going to compress that because this has the tremolo effect on it, and that can be a little bit funky with the compressor. So we're not going to compress that. It'll mess up the tremolo effect. Let's listen to all four here. Cool. Now, just for now, I am going to pan this. I'm going to pan it to the left because the piano is in stereo and the lower stuff in the piano is on the left. So this is higher stuff, and that's my reasoning for panning it left, just to keep that balance there, rather than put it with the higher frequency stuff on the right hand of the piano. This will stay on the left hand side with the lower frequency stuff of the piano. Comes out in the mix just a little bit, almost like I turned it up just by panning at 15 to the left. Cool. So let's take a look at these strings here. I don't think I'm going to get into mixing them in this episode, but let's just take a listen through here. We'll start here. So we've got a violin. This looks like two double takes. Yep. So triple take, violin, same part. Let me just go over here, make sure they're not changing. Okay, yeah, so same part, it's just played 3 times. Viola. Oops. Okay, so doing very similar as the violin. So let's do this. We're going to color these guys like that. Violas are going to be colored like that. Gives us a little bit of separation, understanding what's happening, because these 3 are just 3 takes of the same thing. These 3 are 3 takes of the same thing. And then cello, just one of them. So we'll color that something different. And then we got into horns. Let's listen to the cello. How's it go with the bass? Nice. Yeah, works well with the bass. It's very simple. It's not trying to do a lot of stuff. So it's just going to work with these strings. So next episode, what we'll do here is we'll do a quick mix on the 7 string tracks we've got here. And we'll keep going on this. The whole point of this series is just what does it look like to do a basic mix in a real quick way, down and dirty, but it's going to sound pretty decent. So that's the idea. So I hope you enjoy it. Stick around and we'll keep going on the next episode with these strings.